So, hi friends, today we'll discuss an important current affairs is about the time zone of India, and the topic is about, does India need two time zones? So, does India need two time zones? So, what is this two time zones? What is the time zone? Recently, actually why this issue was in news is, recently the Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma raised it in the assembly and said like he requested the central government to have the two time zones for this country, and even a member of parliament has also raised this issue in the parliament. So why don't we have two different time zones for this country? So what is this time zone? How the time zone is decided? What is the importance of time zone? Why you need two time zones? So these things we will discuss. See, time zone means, what is the time? What is the time? Time is depending on sunlight. Time is depending on sunlight. And do we all have the same time across the globe? No. We are all not experiencing the same time across the globe, because across the globe is not receiving the same sunlight at a point of time. At a particular point of time, every region of the globe cannot receive same amount of sunlight, because earth is rotating. When earth is rotating from west to east, certain portions will experience the sunlight at a particular point of time. Accordingly, their time changes. Suppose this is sun and this is earth. So when every day earth rotates, each and every region will attract the sun, will expose to the sun at a particular point. So we will call that as a particular time. But even when earth revolving around the sun also, the same place will experience to the sunlight not at a particular point, but at a different point. So that means the light which you are receiving from the sunlight on a particular place on earth will vary from location to location, and will vary from season to season at a particular location. So that is what you need to understand. So that is how time is decided. And in order to get a full clarity on this time, what we have done is, we have divided this entire earth into different time zones. So these are the longitudes. Total 360 degrees are there, and 360 longitudes are there, and we have the 24-hour time, and 24 into 60 minutes by 360. So each and every degree longitude will represent the 4 minutes. Now what we have done is, we have divided this entire globe into 24 different time zones. So why 24 time zones? Because each and every time zone will have a gap of 1 hour, because every 15 degree latitude, every 15 degree longitude will be one zone. Suppose just assume now we are at the 0 degree, next one is at the 15 degree, next one is at the 30th degree. So that means we divided the world into these different time zones. So those who are in between this area will have one time, and those people who are in this area, they will have another time. Those people in this area, they are having the another time. So likewise we have divided the entire globe into 24 time zones. 24 time zones, because all the entire area in the globe will not experience the same amount of sunlight at a particular point of time. So now what is the problem if you are having the 24 time zones? Okay, we are having the 24 time zones. In that we comes under one time zone, and according to that time zone we are following the time. But the question is, do we have only 24 time zones? No, we are having more than 24 time zone, because I said the difference between one time zone and another time zone is 1 hour, but with respect to some time zones the difference is something like the 45 minutes, 30 minutes also. Suppose I will give an example. A longitude, a 15 degree longitude difference should be there. Just assume I am at the 15 degree longitude and the next is 30 degrees. Just assume a country which is in between these two. So why should they follow a longitude which is not passing through their country? So they can take another longitude with an half an hour difference. Suppose here it is 9 o'clock, here it is 10 o'clock, here it is 9:30. So like that we have created the different time zones based on our convenience. Okay, then what is the problem to India? India is also having a one time zone. I will come to the time zone little bit later. Then what is the problem? The problem is this. See, there are some countries having a huge area, and in that so many longitudes are passing through this country. When so many longitudes are passing through the country, and each and every longitude represent a time, and when many different time zones are there in your country, which time you need to follow? Should we really follow only one time? Take the case of Russia, take the case of the USA, take the case of Australia. So geographically they are wide and so many longitudes passes through them, and there are different time zones. Should they follow only one time zone, or they can follow different time zones? If they follow one time zone, what is the problem? And if they follow different time zones, what is the problem? If they follow one time zone, just assume, I will give an example. If they follow one time zone, just assume here the time is, let it be 3 o'clock, here 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Suppose just assume like they wanted to decide, like they wanted to follow this time. Okay, 5 o'clock. Now the entire country is having a 5 o'clock. Just assume, take the case of early morning 7 o'clock here. And early morning 7 o'clock sun will rises here, but at what time sun will rise here? Sun rises here? Sun will rise here something like 8, 9, 10, at 10 o'clock. So that means, can that be accepted? Because you are saying like, so here I am getting a sunrise at a particular point of time, and can I follow the same 7 o'clock here? No. If you are taking 7 o'clock, but it almost like a 10 o'clock in that area, because sun already rised and sun has moved to certain distant, but still you are considering it as only 7 o'clock, but it should be 10. So these type of problems you will get if you have only single time zone. Just assume you are saying like evening 6 o'clock. Okay, here it is evening 6 o'clock, sun is setting, but by that time it has already become dark, but still you are considering it as a 6 o'clock. Can you consider like that? So that is the problem if you follow single time zone. So that is why we are having the different time zones even in the single country. Take the case of Russia, take the case of USA, take the case of France, take the case of Australia. Likewise, different countries are having a different time zones in order to remove this anomaly. Then if you are having the different time zones, what is the problem? Is there any problem or is it okay? If you are having the different time zone, the problem is when you are moving from this place to this place, you need to change your clock. You need to change your time. And suppose a train moving from here to here, it is started at, just assume I am saying, you are following like this. Okay, the train started here at 5 o'clock and it will reach 1 hour to reach this place. By this time you will go, it will be 6. Your watch will come to, your watch will turn to 6. But again you need to add 1 more hour extra, because this time is 1 hour extra for you. Because by the time you will reach here, it will be 6, but here it will be 6, here it will be 7. So this frequent change of time is required when you have the multiple time zones. That too, when it is come to the trains and when it comes to the aeroplanes, that traffic controlling, so that will become little difficult, but anyhow the governments are already got some experience and they are following it. So this is the concept of time zone and multiple time zone, and the problem with the multiple time zone and the problem with the one time zone. Now I will come to India. See, India, if you take from this Gujarat to Arunachal Pradesh, this longitude is around 68 degrees 7 minutes, and the that means the passing through, and the longitude that passes through the Arunachal Pradesh is 97 degrees 25 minutes. So this is, so the difference between these two is 29 degree longitude, that is almost 30 you consider it as, and when you make it 120 minutes, that means 2 hours. The difference between this and this is 2 hours. Then what we consider? We consider conveniently a longitude of 82 degrees 33 minutes. Somewhere it passes through like this, 82 degree 33 minutes. This longitude we consider it as a common time for both. And what is the common time of this 82 degree 33 minutes? When you looking into, actually the whole time will be calculated from the Greenwich line, that means 0 degree longitude. This is a Greenwich time, you call it as Greenwich Mean Time, GMT. Or now we are calling that as Coordinated Universal Time, UTC. So with respect to UTC, the time is UTC plus 5 hour 30 minutes. That means we are ahead of 5.5 hours from the GMT. This is our time. Entire India is following that time. Just assume here it is 1 o'clock. That means entire India is 6:30. Here it is 2 o'clock. Entire India is 7:30. Irrespective whether you are in east or whether you are in west. So this is the time zone that we are following now. But from when we have started this following this time zone? When we have started following this time zone, what is the problem with this single time zone, especially in India? That I will deal now. Actually, prior to independence, we don't have this time zone and all. We have a different time zone for different cities. And on September 1st, 1947, officially we said like this 82 degree 33 minutes is a Indian Standard Time, that is equal to the Coordinated Universal Time plus 5 hour 30 minutes. This is what IST. This is how we have decided. And prior to that, what was the time? We used to have the different times. We used to have the different time zone for the Bombay. We used to have different time zone for Madras. We used to have the different time zone for Calcutta. And the local people used to follow the surrounding time. And if at all I want to give the Bombay, it is UTC plus, it is 4 hour 51 minutes. Mumbai is UTC plus 5 hour 21 minutes. Sorry, the Madras 5 hour 21 minutes, and Calcutta is UTC plus 5 hour 54 minutes. So this is the time difference between Bombay, Madras and Calcutta, but present day you are taking 5 hour 30 minutes. That means in between this Madras and Calcutta, this point you have taken. And why we have taken this, the 82 degree 33 minutes, so that it will make an exact difference of 5 hour 30 minutes, so that it will remove confusion. Instead of making 5 hour 20 minutes, 5 hour 15, 23 minutes, 22 minutes, so we have taken 5 hour 30 minutes. Okay, so this is exactly the time that we followed prior to independence India, but in post independent India we have created our own time called Indian Standard Time. Now according to the Indian Standard Time, it is UTC plus 5 hour 30 minutes. Okay. Now I'll tell you, okay, if this is the case, then what is the problem to India? Especially there is a problem to some northeastern people. And who decide this time and who monitor this time? There is an organization called CSIR plus NPL. So Council of Scientific Industrial Research and National Physical Laboratory, they will decide this time and all. Now once you understand this concept of IST and the different time zones earlier we have, now I will come to the specific problem that the country is facing. See, again I am just drawing a rough diagram. So this is the northeastern India. So whatever I said, this 82 degrees 33 minutes is passing through here. Now here, this whatever the latitude that is passing through the Gujarat, is 68, and whatever that is passing through the extreme of the northeast is 97. I told you the gap here, it is between these two things is 2 hours. The gap between this Gujarat and this eastern is 2 hours. And in order to reduce that, we have drawn a midway line and we are saying like, okay, we will follow this. Okay, the difference between 68 and 82 is, just assume 15 it is. Okay, 15. It's 14 actually, but for the calculation purpose, take it 15. And 82 to 97, again it is 15. That means exactly mid you have drawn. And this shows like 1 hour difference, and this shows like 1 hour difference. Now suppose here if it is 4 o'clock, here it is 5 o'clock, here it is 6 o'clock. Here it is 4 o'clock, here it is 5 o'clock, here it is 6 o'clock. Suppose there is an early morning 6 o'clock here, suppose we are following the same time, but if you don't follow, what exactly the time? Suppose here if it is a morning 6, then it is 5, here it is only 4. But these people wake up and they start doing their domestic chores and whatever the things. But here the people are still in sleep. Just assume here it has become evening 7, or just assume evening 8, and here the people will be 9, but here it is 10. People already slept here. Why I am giving this is, though literally you maintained a common time, but these people work based on the sunlight. People don't looking into their watches and it is 10 o'clock, I will sleep. People don't looking into the watch, 10 o'clock they will sleep. People don't looking into the watch, okay, 5 o'clock I will woke up. But in your country at 5 o'clock, by already it is 6 here. So they will woke up early because the sun comes early here. So they will woke up early and they will sleep early. They will sleep early. Here the people are sleeping at 10 o'clock, but by the here it is 10, but here it is also you are saying 10, but they are feeling it like at 12 because it is completely darkness. So even though you are maintaining a same timeline, a same time, but our physiology, that means the body will work based on this biological cycle. That biological cycle is closely related to the sunlight, closely related to the sunlight, and that we call it as this circadian rhythm. This circadian rhythm is influenced by the sunlight of the sunlight. Just because you are making a uniform time, don't think that everyone follow the same time. Now I'll tell you, this is the thing. But when it comes to the summers in any country, in the summer sun rises at an earlier time. Sun rises at an earlier time. And around 70 countries in the world, they are using daylight saving time. Daylight saving time. Daylight saving time. What is this daylight saving time in the 70 countries? Daylight saving time is, I'll tell you. Normally, in a normal year, just don't take the case of summer. In a normal year, the sun rises at 6 o'clock. But in a summer, the sun rises at 5 o'clock. Then what they will do is, they will turn this clock into 6 in the summer. Suppose in the winter, sun is rising at 7 o'clock, again they will make it as a 6 by adjusting their watches, by adjusting their time. This we will call it as daylight saving time. And we don't have such a daylight saving time. We don't have a multiple zones. We don't have a daylight saving time. We are using the same time always throughout the 365 days. 365 days. Now I will give an example in the summer. The sun rises at 4 o'clock in this Arunachal Pradesh, because there was a region called this Dong, D-O-N-G, Dong in Arunachal Pradesh. We call that region as India's land of rising sun. India's land of rising sun. In the summer at 4 o'clock, the sun rises, but here the sun rises only 6 o'clock. Sun rises 6 o'clock. Then what is your office timings? The office is at 10 o'clock. That means after sunrise, people has to wait for 5 hours to getting into the offices, because your time is completely depending on, your offices are depending on a time, and that is a common time, and that is how the offices are decided. That means you are not utilizing the morning, the sun properly. You are wasting the time, because you can't go to the offices, simply you can't sleep because already sun has risen. You can't sleep. So this time is getting wasted. And take the case of evening. Suppose office has to work up to evening 6 o'clock. You said evening 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock in the sense, by already it has become 7. Here it is only 5. So that means if it is 7 means they have to switch on the lights and they have to work under these artificial lights. The energy consumption is increasing. They could not save the morning sunlight, and moreover they have to spend huge amount of electricity in order to extend for 1 or 1.5 hours. So this is one of the major problem. So the circadian rhythm that is disturbing, and also the lot of energy is wasting. Don't think like people work according to by looking into the watches. Our biology is something depending on the sunlight, and the adults can manage it, but the children will get a problem. If the children don't sleep according to the sunlight, if they go with the normal timings, then they can't have a proper sleep. So they can't have proper sleep. That leads to affect the people also. So this is one of the major problem if you are following a one single time zone. So this is very, very important. Okay, so either if you take the multiple of 15 when you are dividing 24 zones, we have neither taken 90, we are nor taken 75. These are multiples of 15, because if you take either 75 or 90, it will be completely tilted to one side. If I take 90, then these people will get a problem. If I 75, all these people get a problem. So via media I have drawn a middle line so that this 530 we have taken. Okay, so this is exactly the issue. And there was an India, do we have only one time zone? Officially we are having only one time zone, that is UTC plus 530 at 82 degrees 33 minutes. Okay, that passes near through the Allahabad. Now do we have only one? This officially we have one, but apart from that, do we have any other time zone? Unofficially we are having another time zone called Chai Bagan time zone. So what is this Chai Bagan time zone? Britishers introduced 150 years back in our country for the workers of this tea plantation in northeastern. Because they can't wait till your 10 o'clock. When the sun rises, they have to work. That is why the Chai Bagan time is 1 hour ahead of our normal time. In our normal watches, it is 5, for them it is 6. Okay, for them it is 5, for us it is 4. So that 1 hour advance time is there, that actually in Britishers time we are following that Chai Bagan time for the tea plantation workers. And even the former Assam Chief Minister Tarun Gogoi once said like, no, actually this government of India not listening to our voices, so you please follow Chai Bagan time. That statement he has given. But okay, this is exactly the problem that you understood. Okay, it's wastage of energy and unable to utilize the morning time, and that too it is circadian rhythm is something getting disturbed. So these things you understood. Then why can't we go to 2 different time zones if we are having such a serious problem? Did anyone suggested to go for 2 time zones or 3 time zones? Yes. There were already some suggestions. So what are the different suggestions that has made already? In Parliament of India, first time it was raised it in the year 2002. Since then, around 16 times it was raised it in the Parliament. 16 times it was raised it in the Parliament. In the year 2006, the Planning Commission recommended for 2 time zones. Planning Commission recommended for 2 time zones. In the year 2009, the Union Ministry on Science and Technology, they have appointed an expert committee, and that committee said like, the eastern states in the country do face certain disadvantage by the following standard time due to early sunrise or early sunset, and it suggested for the working hours must be ahead by 1 hour. So you need to change all the working hours by 1 hour. You no need to change the time zone, but for all these people you just change the 1 hour time zone differently. If everyone is coming at 9 o'clock here, you make it 8. Now again there was another, it's a research report. The CSIR National Physical Laboratory, NPL, has come up with a research report. In that report, what they said is, it is necessary to have 2 time zones. They have also mentioned about 2 time zones. S&T is talking about 1 hour, Planning Commission talked about 2 hours, CSIR, NPL, they have talked about 2 hours. What the 2 hours they said, they have dividing this Indian time zone into IST1 and IST2. So what is this IST1 and IST2? They have drawn a line, they have trying to draw a line from this 89 degrees, 89 degree 52 minute, 89 degree 52 minute, we will draw a line. This line will passes through the chicken neck. That means the West Bengal and Assam where they join, actually this line passes through that. If at all I want to draw the Indian map, just assume like here it will go, here from there it will go. So here IST1 and IST2, they said like this is something the coordinated universal time UTC plus 5:30, 5 hour 30 minutes, and these people should follow UTC plus 6 hour 30 minutes. So that side people, that means northeastern people, and this includes which state? The state of Arunachal Pradesh, the state of Assam, the state of Meghalaya, the state of Manipur, Mizoram, Tripura, Nagaland, and also Andaman and Nicobar. They are the one who are demanding for the separate time zone. Otherwise they are wasting lot of time. They are wasting lot of time. So they have recommended for these two. They have recommended for these two timings. And ultimately there was another committee. It is appointed by the experts, but these experts include high level committee was appointed. This high level committee include the Secretary of Science and Technology and the DG of the CSIR plus National Physical Laboratory plus the Chief Secretary of Tripura, because one Chief Secretary of that state is also included. There was a high level committee. Finally this committee has recommended for not to have two different time zones for the country because of strategic reasons. So what is that strategic reason? I will come to that. But the high level committee has recommended for not having two different time zones because of strategic reason. So now the government of India is quoting the same thing, like because of strategic reason we don't want to create two different time zones. But there are some reports that they are saying like because of this different time, because of the same time zone, some loss is happening. Some are calculated to that loss as 29,000 crore per annum. So this is a loss that the country is facing because of this same time zone, because they could not work properly or they have to spend more energy. So that is leading to 29,000 crore. And even if you have the two time zones, we can save 20 million kilowatt hours of energy per annum. And even some people say like even if you adjust the time for half an hour, you can save some millions of electricity units. And your work efficiency will improve. You can have a good sleep. Your biological cycle works well, and you can effectively use the sunlight. The loss can be minimized. They are all giving these reasons. But the strategic thing is northeastern India is already facing some sort of separatism, and separatist forces are there, and since independence some separatist tendencies, some separatist ideas are there. At this point of time, if you really make a separate time zone, they feel like they are really separate. Not that we are alienating them. They will get a legitimacy that we are separate from the mainland India. Our time is different, our culture is different, our working hours are different, our seasons are different. Like that, it may promote the separatism. That is what might be the strategic reason, because even government of India not revealed what exactly the strategic reason. But as the civil society and other the intelligentsia are saying like the strategic reason what the government is saying, perhaps that might be the strategic reason. Otherwise it will be very difficult. So they may feel it like no, they are separatists. separatism. But okay, when it comes to the governmental level, government times cannot be changed if really government thinks in that way. But anyhow, the private people, private businesses, they can follow their own different time, but the government has to make it officially. But if the government cannot make it officially, when you have a standard timing and when there is a common prescribed time. But individuals, those who are not depending on government, for individual things like individual shops and everything, now they can follow their own thing. But one more apprehension, like when we have the two different time zones, the trains, flights, movement, so it creates lot of problem. No, that is not exactly the problem, because the world is already have an experience how to deal with the multiple time zones in a particular country. When our flights are moving to the foreign country, we are adjusting our times, and that is how we are doing. But the point is, the main problem the government is citing is the strategic reason. That strategic reason might be leading to this separatism in the minds of northeastern people. So because of that, we are not actually following two time zones. So answer to our topic, does India need two time zones? The answer is yes, but the government don't want two time zones because of strategic reasons. So I hope you understood what is this time zone, multiple time zone, and India's different time zones. Prior to independence, what was India's time zone, and the Chai Bagan time zone, and what is the problem that we are facing, how much loss that we are incurring. Okay, so this is something about the different time zones of the time zone of India, and if at all we need to have a different, what could be the possibility and why we are not following the two time zones is about this. Okay, thank you.
Amrita IAS Academy.